Okay. In life, whatever what you do, you want to keep getting better and upgrade. And upgrade until you die. Right? Or you stay in the same position. You upgrade to the point. Now, my mentor has told me that he works in the corporate world. He has 6 figures. He does 6 figures every year. And he told me that the amount of people will stab each other to get to that position in a corporate world, and the things that they have to do beyond and above. And when they lose their job and their profession, they wouldn't lower their salary or take in a step or a couple step lower jobs. So what I mean by that, I mean by, for example, let's just say you work for BlackBerry. You work for BlackBerry and you move up the ladder, and somehow the company sacking workers or redundant workers due to, the money, the profits has been reduced because BlackBerry, nobody buys BlackBerry, right? So, for example, what I'm trying to say is like they have funny titles in corporate world, and let's just make it simple, all right? Let's just say you're coming from entry level, then you move up to supervisor, then after supervisor, you've been to this specialist position, right? You're in 80K. And when you lost your job because nobody buys BlackBerry, right? BlackBerry. Then you go out and look for jobs, and you look at it for the same position or similar position, same price tag. Let's just say this guy earns 80K. All right, he got his job redundant and goes for another job and compete with many people out there who maybe have similar experience or more experience, and it's up to the manager how they hire. He's not the only one that's on the list on getting, potentially getting the job. There's many people out there. And over the years, he couldn't get a job. And he still remains, I can't say over the years, more than half a year or to a year, he still couldn't get a job. He still won't lower his standards because I'm worth that much. I believe I get to that much. Maybe because he's coming from finish his degree, just saying that, I finished engineer degree. I have to get that much. I'm worth that much. Right. That's what I'm trying to say. And, that's life. Nothing's forever. Whether it's 6 months or 1 year, you can't get a job. If you get a lower position job, and I'm saying entry level job, and start over again, and you can work your way up, but it take more couple of years to get to where you're up. Better than zero income in 6 months and 1 year, or you never change your mind. You kill yourself. You kill your savings. There's no way it's going to bring you up. It's too late. Right? I'm only saying 6 months because, if you earn 80K, if you save, I'm pretty sure you can last you 3 to 6 months, usually. But if you've gone to that stage and you still haven't got a job, it's a worrisome for you. And that's why I say in life, regardless, it's me as well. I'm upset that I'm earning this much amount of money. I want to upgrade. And let's just say tomorrow I got my job sacked. And I go find another company. And I can't. Because the more money you earned in the past, or the day you got your job sacked, or you lost your job, you have high expenses, your upper class, your livelihood, the standards. For example, you live in this one shared room by yourself, and you move into a unit, 2-bedroom by yourself, or granny flat. Let's just put it a granny flat. Live in a garage, and you have 1-bedroom studio. Let's just say studio. I think studio is the best way to turn. You own this own house. You do whatever you can to this house. And the other side, you lost your job and you're not willing to step down because, hang on, I bought fridges, I bought furniture, I bought everything. And now I lost my job and I'm not willing to step down because I want to have a 2-bedroom unit in the future. I want a house. And this is where it creates troublesome for many people, especially we're living in today's world that employment is very, very shaky. Especially Australia right now, we're hitting, we're already in recession, but we slowly trickle down to recession. All right. It just doesn't make sense in Australia. There's more people flowing in Australia, right, every single year. Our population is growing, and yet many businesses struggle because not many, people are not spending money, right? Not people. So you have that. I'll just talk about that later on. And that's life. Like me, I bitch and moan about it, but in life, that's the way how it is, right? And I'll give you another example, right? I'll give you another example. Let's just say you met this girl, you've dated a while. I think this is just resemble where I'm in right at the moment, actually. And whether the dating partner wants to know, are you potential to earn more, and she earns more, so you can start a family, and that's fair enough. Starting a family, it requires a lot of money, right? And everyone has different goals to start a family. Some cultures or people believes that boyfriend and girlfriend agrees to each other, works to the same goal, or earning and saving. Then they buy a house. Then they get married. Then they have kids. And that is absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Because when you're single, you don't expect much. But when you find a partner, things has changed. You're expecting much because you're upgrading now, right? You're wanting to get to the updating status now, right? And we reach that point, upgrading, saving more money. So instead of having one savings, there's two savings, two income holders, two savings together, and even better. And you work towards the same goal to buy a house. And that's part of human civilization. But unfortunately, in today's world, it's very hard to get to that stage. It's a lot harder than before because housing, cost of living is skyrocketing. So you have that. When you have that, and you work so hard, you drive so hard, you're very determined to get to that stage, to get to that goal. And the moment you got sick, or one of them got their job sack, it's just a fallback. And remember how I told you about the employment, right? If you're worth 80K, you want to stick to 80K, right? Or above. Let's just put it that way. Nobody wants to downgrade in life. Nobody wants to. It's hard to accept a downgrade. It's easier to accept an upgrade. Because you have a high expenses, right? You want to, you and your girlfriend or you and your wife, all right? You live in this house and this and that and blah, 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 blah. All right. You got to that stage where everything is working fine, but life, you can't control life when it hits you. You cannot. When it breaks you down, breaks your health down, breaks your leg, it happens. There's nothing much you can do about it. But what if it comes to a permanent problem? You're in a wheelchair for good. The other, your partner will be very supportive, but one day they'll walk out and find someone could fulfill that gap and that goal. And or the guy who lost their job, who went to a mental breakdown or suicidal breakdown, that partner will walk away. It's not just a downgrade, it's also the emotional, the physical, the psychological has changed. And I think many people don't quite understand how much it does, because the world doesn't always function the same what it was every single day. Every single day there's something new. New laws, political correctness, and things like that. And that's what I'm trying to say in this video. Like, nobody wants to downgrade. Nobody wants to hear, this and that. But that's life. That's part of life, That's what Chinese people, they're dating, how they choose their selecting dating partner is to make sure they don't have a history of mental health. They have a very prestigious education, wealthy family background. And what's the other one? Very good income, right? You got all that. So it's a lot more easier to figure out where is this person's life is going to be like 10 or 20 years later. Okay, so you have that. When you have that, it's not based on love anymore. It's based on money, pretty much. But we live in a society, I think that kind of is still there, but not as very strong as what it once it was. So nowadays it's just individualism. It's very, very hard. Collectivism is a lot easier nowadays. We'll get an upper hand in individualism. And this is where I said downgrading is very hard. And I don't think people like to accept downgrading, because people think they want to climb the ladder, climb. All people want to stay stable. You got two types. But the ones keep climbing, they can always lose their job. And once on the stable, you can always lose your job. And what I'm trying to say, whether it's marriage or whether anything, or you want to upgrade girlfriends, upgrade wives. This wife was like this back then. Now I'm going to upgrade to this husband was like this. I'm going to upgrade to a new husband. And there's a risk involved. Right, so that's why I said, that's the metaphor that I'm trying to tell you.